Welcome, prospectors! I'm not going to beat around the bush, because there are no bushes on Arcadia 7, so let's begin with the guide. Make sure to stay until the end because I have a pro tip for you that I don't think anyone has thought of yet. To start off, pick any of the 4 characters you like. You can even change the character once you've started playing. There doesn't seem to be any functional difference between them as per early access. The core of the game is to gather resources, build things out of them, and explore the world to find rarer resources to build better things. At first, your priority will be mining these boulders. Equip your harvester by clicking 1 or scrolling mouse wheel if it's not already equipped, and then press and hold left mouse button. If it's mineable, a bar will appear. Each boulder also contains inclusions. These are contrasting materials that can be mined faster. Each material that you mine fully will charge your combo meter by 1 bar. Each bar increases mining speed. If you mine a full boulder instead of each individual inclusion, this gives you all the materials in the boulder and fills your charge completely, meaning everything else that you mine afterwards will be mined much faster. I advise to mine each inclusion individually because it will be much faster. After each mined material, your combo meter will fill, and so you'll mine faster than you would have had you just mined the whole boulder without any combo. You still have to mine the rest of the boulder to get the meteorite heart, which is important to collect. Now when you're mining, you will also notice that your harvester overheats, so when you're running from one node to another, make it a habit to click R to lose the heat. Mining resources allows you to craft several building block types in this game. The first one is called building components, which you'll use for starting buildings. You're given 500 at the start of the game. To kick things off, you'll build a base core which will allow you to build a habitat. It's better to build a bit above the ground so that you have enough space to build on and don't run into collision issues. Before you start building anything else, I advise you build some platforms first. You'll use them to move around your base. When I was just starting, I crammed all my buildings together and this made moving and servicing the buildings impossible. When building these platforms, you can hold right mouse button to place multiple at the same time and then click left mouse button to confirm. Building too far out this way will give you the error of building is not stable, which you solve by building support platforms. If you've built more than you wanted, click F to deconstruct, and look ahead of you to deconstruct more than one piece, like this. Also press Y when looking at an already constructed platform to lock in height, so that you don't have to suffer when trying to align your buildings with the platforms and other buildings. Now that we have some walkways, we build a habitat, an airlock to get in, and now, finally, we can build some of these interior buildings. There's 2 buildings available in progression group, and as the name suggests, they are needed to actually progress in this game. You'll use Analyzing Station for studying organic materials and schematic/logic boards to get data points, and you'll use Corporate Terminal to use those data points in return for some advanced technology, building, weapon, etc. Just don't click Add Points before you've chosen the reward, because this will only add points to the corporation you were looking at. Alternatively to Corporate Terminal, you can use Orbital Cargo Launcher, which takes materials instead of data points. You build it outside of your habitat and then just feed it the materials that you found or fabricated. I recommend using only the Orbital Cargo Launcher at the start because the materials that are asked at the starting levels are so easy and cheap, and data is harder to get as it requires more manual and exploratory work. But even when you get to advanced levels and they begin asking you for expensive manufactured materials, you might still want to keep those organics close to your chest because you'll need plenty later in the game for the recipe station. But if you do decide to use them for data, both data and materials advance the same milestone, so you don't have to stick to just data or just materials, they can mix. Don't get spooked by the fact Orbital Cargo Launcher needs electricity. In this game, electricity is basically free, you just have to build solar panels and connect them to consumers through rails or platforms, as those conduct electricity. Materials that are needed to make them are also super cheap, and buildings are fully refunded to you when you deconstruct them, so don't worry about going overboard with the amount of panels. Just build any amount you want so that you don't have to run back and forth all the time to check if your building is operational or not due to lack of electricity. To make it easier, you can copy buildings by hovering over them and clicking Z. And if you run out of building materials, there's an item printer in the orbital lander that you woke up in. Just run back and craft some more building materials for yourself. You can also use the personal storage here to leave the items you're not likely to need anytime soon. It takes time to unlock your personal storage, so make use of this one. With electricity comes great power to automate extraction and production of advanced materials. Here's how the deposit for titanium looks, and here's how the wolfram ore deposit looks. Both of them are immediately available for you in the starting area. Once you get further in the game, you will be able to find other deposits. The resources in these are infinite, so you can't exhaust them. To make use of these deposits, you'll want to build extractors with the output side facing the direction of your future production buildings, just like that. I will now build the smelter. Copy the height of the platform piece by clicking Y, rotate it so the side with the yellow arrows aligns with where the titanium extractor is, and place it. Yellow arrows always indicate input and green arrows indicate output. Remember that it's an assembly line and you'll never get confused. Now, each assembly line needs conveyor rails, so I'll connect the extractor to the smelter and do the same on the other side with wolfram ore. When building rails, if the distance is too long and your rail needs support, it will attempt to add a supporting platform somewhere in the middle. It's not always perfect, so I advise you do it yourself by building in 2 turns when you notice that it's too long. In this case, I didn't need the supporting platform, which is nice. Now the smelter will have to connect to something too, and at the start you'll be connecting it to the Orbital cargo launcher. You might notice that the launcher is only 2 tiles wide and doesn't align with the smelter. If you're a person that cares about the aesthetic look of your base, just click the right mouse button to make it 3 tiles and you'll be able to connect it in a straight line like this. You can do the same with the rail support platform, so that your connection is straight and neat. Now, rails only send materials when buildings request them. Without recipes queued, my extractor will not send anything to the smelter. But there's a trick to it, that a building will still produce materials, in this case this ore extractor will still extract ores even if it doesn't have anywhere to send them, as long as it has electricity. This means that if you ever need to mine a bunch of materials and can't or don't need to fully automate it for whatever reason, just build an extractor and a solar panel and then come get your ores from time to time. By the way, rails conduct electricity, which is why the extractor here doesn't need its own solar panel. I'll set the recipes now on my smelter and orbital cargo launcher so that all the titanium ore gets refined into titanium bars. You can see it already moving, and gets sent to Selenium Corporation automatically so that I can get the Fabricator in the corporate terminal. This will allow me to produce more advanced materials, titanium rods for example. And with the building of Fabricator, I will have to start looking at the efficiency of each building. In this example, you can see that my smelter takes 2 titanium ores to make 2 titanium bars every 2 seconds, but Fabricator takes just 1 titanium bar every 2 seconds to make 1 titanium rod, which means that 1 smelter can power 2 fabricators. But there's just 1 output coming from the smelter. How do you send the bars into 2 different buildings? Rail connectors. They can be used to both merge and split rails. Just connect your rails and they'll figure out what has to be done. So I'll do the same on the output side. I'll connect the fabricators to the orbital cargo launcher through a rail connector. Just remember to always start the rail from the output side, otherwise it will flash red and won't work. And had I not looked at these numbers, I would have just built 1 fabricator per each smelter, which would have been a waste. But now everything runs smoothly and evenly and I've maximized my efficiency. With everything running, there's nothing else for me to do here. There's more to the game than manufacturing, so it's time for some exploration. After all, exploration is the only way to not only find new resources and data points to please our corporate overlords, but also to get blueprints for upgrading the base core so that we can build more and produce more to please the corporate overlords. Traveling across the planet, you might want to be on the lookout for other resource deposits. Here's a pro tip. Stand on a hill, then equip the construction tool, choose something to build, and voila, you'll see every place where you can build an ore extractor. So just travel there. But when you do, you might get attacked by some nasty aliens. Just kill them with your harvester. Now, returning to the deposit I found, it's the third and final resource, calcium, that you can mine with the basic ore extractor. I can't build it, however, because it's too far from the base core. Thankfully, I've collected meteorite hearts, and even though it says that I have 0, bug I assume, it's not even flashing red like it would if I didn't have any. I can use those meteorite hearts to build a new core and add an extractor next to it. And then go through the whole process of setting up production, just like before. If you find outposts like this swarming with aliens, you don't have to fight them, just leave and come back after the StarRupture. It kills everyone on the planet and lets you roam freely for about 5 minutes after, with no one to distract you from looting. And buildings can be looted too, they'll glow bright yellow until you do. Yes, it will kill you too if you're not in your habitat when that happens. You'll get a 2-minute warning and you better drop everything and run home, because you don't want to lose some of your hard-earned stuff that you had in your inventory if you die. Or you can always carry some meteorite hearts with you and build another base core and a habitat wherever you are. Speaking of running, the more you run, fight, and survive, the higher the level you'll have for those activities. Once you reach these milestones, you'll unlock slots for LEMs, modules that you can find out in the world and attach to a special station, which give boosts to your character. Do note that the buffs from LEMs are not shared with other players in your party. And if you're thinking that there's an awful lot of running in this game and where the heck is the map, you will be graciously provided with the map when you satisfy Moon Energy Corporation. Whatever you see prior to that will be revealed on the map immediately, and everything else will have to be explored on foot later or through these geoscanners that attract aliens. After each rupture, new boulders will appear to replace those that you had mined, but the planet will be completely void of water, plants, and animals until it fully rejuvenates in a few minutes. Then, it'll be ready to be explored again. It's the same with my channel. After each game I play, new videos appear to replace those that you had previously watched, but they're completely void of likes and comments. So go on and slap that like button and tell me in the comments if you want to see other StarRupture videos from me, or whatever it is you cool kids write in the comments. Adios.